Part 8. Letters to E.E. Letter 85. The Lord sends temptations for our salvation. December 23, 1876. I received your letter, sad and feeble D, and I was very sorry that such a bright little girl conducts her spiritual life in such an undiscerning manner. From your words, it is evident that you understand the spiritual significance of monasticism, but that in practice you fall short. Well, so what are we to do? Humble yourself, judge yourself for your weaknesses, and hasten to God with your petition for help. God will never permit those who have recourse to Him to remain in temptations beyond their strength, especially His young struggler. For He, the friend of men, sees and knows well that it is for His sake, for the Holy One, that you are enduring from the devil the assaults of passions of dishonor. But He waits to see our volition, and He exhorts us. But for what purpose? So that in the first place we would recognize our weakness and humble ourselves. Second, so that having seen our own helplessness and the assaults of the enemy, we might turn to God, our helper, in afflictions which mightly befall us. Psalm 45:1. And third and most important of all, so that we might become practiced, having passed through fire and water. Psalm 65:12. For according to God's word, a man who has not been tried is unpracticed. And God wishes to make you practiced and permits Matushka to scold you and frazzle you for a time. Yes, dear, that is very beneficial, and it is a great help against carnal passion. Saint Niels of Sinai writes, "Turn not the turners away, though that they beat and trample and stretch and scrape, for by this very means your garment is made radiant. You keep proclaiming that your last hour has come. But after all, that is precisely what the Lord said. Except a corn of wheat fall and die, it shall not come to life. And so the Lord sends you temptation. Your last hour comes in order that your passion, which is alive and well, might die. But according to God's word, if we be dead with Christ, we shall also live with Him. May God forgive all your weaknesses, your slothfulness, distraction, carnal desire, vainglory, and other sins. And I, the unworthy one, do not judge you, for you are still young, untrained, and therefore also impatient. As regards your feeling oppressed sometimes, examine your conscience. Is there some little sin of which you have not repented? When you complete your prayers or your rule, give thanks to God. When you do not, then berate yourself. Try not to accept blasphemous thoughts and do not believe them, and the Lord will forgive you. When thoughts come, do not accept them, and do not repulse them, and especially do not exorcise or contradict them. That does not pertain to your measure. Instead, have recourse to the Lord with prayer and humility. Carnal thoughts and fearfulness are permitted on account of our pride. Reproach yourself and try not to look at the tempter, and the temptation will pass. We must honor the memory of the saints and look for mercy from them. But in order to cast out the evil within, there is very, very much that needs to be said. For now, just this is sufficient. Write everything in whatever way you are able. Do not hesitate. I will always answer you when possible.